So my first impression when I met my host family was actually pretty awesome. So we were on the bus, like getting into Bilbao, and my host mom was standing like on the side of the street at the bus stop where we got out, and she had a little sign made for me, and it said "Orionak," which is like "Welcome to the Basque Country," and so that was really awesome, a very welcoming experience. So it was just my host mom and her teenage son, so just the two of them. And so it was really nice because it's very similar to like my lifestyle at home. Like I just have my single mom, and then like my single dad on the other side, but then my little brother. So it was like very similar, relatable. I had my own room, but I did share the bathroom with my host brother, but it was no big deal because he left for school a little earlier than me. So it was always like empty when it was time for me to shower, so I didn't really have to work around him too much with it. So that was really nice. The biggest surprise I found living with my host family was just how much interaction I actually had with them. At dinner, that was just kind of like TV time for the family and like their just household kind of, way of life. But it was kind of funny because the show that they would watch was really funny. And so I got to learn a lot of Spanish just through that because, on TV they talk so much faster than they do in real life. So that was great. Even found like my own favorite TV show kind of through that and just interacting with them. I thought it would be very much so like I kind of just came, they fed me, and we'd chat for a little bit, and I'd go to my room or leave and hang out with friends. But I was definitely like kind of turning into more and more a part of the family like the further we went on. Came to my birthday, and like she got a little cake and got me a little present, and they sang me happy birthday in Spanish, and so it was all really fun. And then like for their birthdays we did something similar, and so like I'd give them a little something, and so it was just nice to interact with them a lot more than I thought I really would. My favorite thing about living with the host family is just like the casual conversations that you have, because like at school it was all related to the subject matter you were on, very academic, things like that. But at home it was just casual little conversations about this, that, or the other thing, stuff you haven't learned about in classes. So like learned a lot of different vocabulary. Sometimes I would say things and she was like, I don't want to be nitpicky with you, but like we would never say it like that here, kind of thing. So just learning, like just the different kind of colloquialisms and things like that. My least favorite thing about living with the host family was sometimes just having people always home, because like now that I'm at the university, it's nice I have like my own space. Even if somebody is kind of home, which they rarely are because we all have such complex schedules, it's nice to have that a little bit of alone time. But every time I came home, she was always there, so it never felt like I had like alone time. But I could go to my room and like have that independent moment, which was fine. So it definitely worked. My relationship with my host family was very integrated, especially with my host mom. Her and I became very close. Like to this day, we're friends on Facebook, and so we'll send each other little messages from time to time, just checking in. With my host brother, we didn't really bond that much, but he was 16, so he was out with his friends all the time, and then when I was out with my friends, like there wasn't a lot of kind of overlap in our day-to-day lives. But that's fine because like when we were home, we got along really well. So that was nice. They didn't really have family outings or events the whole time I was there. Unfortunately, one of her sisters passed away while I was in town, so that was a really tough time for the family. So it was kind of just a little weird navigating around that because like she had her responsibilities as being a host mom, like offering meals and things like that, but she did a really good job. She'd just like make like a big pot of paella or soup or something for the week and leave it there, and so like I was taken care of in like that front. I just had to get it out and warm it up, different things, but definitely very understanding of that. But as far as like little family trips and stuff like that, that never happened. The biggest challenge was that they didn't know any English. So whenever there came a time when I didn't know the word for something or how to express something I was trying to talk to them about, things like that, it was kind of just a little hard to get through the conversation. But she was very understanding, and like she knew a few different words of English, so she would like ask me different things, and then I'd ask her like, what's this in Spanish? And so that was really neat. But just being able to have a super fluid conversation, sometimes that didn't always happen, but for the most part, like we got through it without any major issues. But granola, like at the very beginning, she asked me what I like for breakfast. I'm like trying to tell her granola, but I have no clue what the word for granola is in Spanish. So I like run and grab my computer and like Google a picture of it and like show her granola, and then she understood. So that helped. And she's like, this is the word. To this day, I still don't remember what it is. It is too complex. I'd say the biggest skill I learned living with my host family was just, being able to relate with people that come from such a different background as me. Like they, grow up entirely different. Just living situations are different there. Like I grew up in a house. Like their version of a house is a very small scale apartment. So just, learning how to adapt to those like little nuances. Like, the washer and dryer is one machine and it's also in the kitchen. And so like little things like that. And the kitchen I really did feel like resembled something more so like what you would see in like a like a motorhome or camper as far as size, and like everything was really small, even the stove and the fridge and all that. And then you go to the American way of life where our kitchens are like bigger than any other room in the house almost in some cases. So things like that. It's just how they live a little different, adapting to that. I definitely would go back and choose to live with a host family again. I had some friends abroad that chose to do like just the apartment with other students, which was fine for them, but I really do feel like they missed out on so many of those little, casual interactions that really made all the difference for me.